The stage opens with fire still smoldering in the ruins of Montague's estate. The wreckage isn't just wood and stone, it's a message carved in ash. Jeremiah and his crew didn't simply destroy a building, they declared war. The blackened walls stand as a warning, anyone who sides with Dwight will share the same fate. Fans who followed episode 1 knew Jeremiah was reckless, but here we see him go beyond reckless. He's fearless in the face of Dwight's reputation. And Dwight? He arrives with Tyson, Mitch, and Bigfoot. There's no panic in his step. No shouting. Just that quiet, dangerous calm Stallone plays so well. And it's in that calm we understand something bigger. Dwight won't step back. He won't bow to threats. This isn't about money anymore, this is about proving he belongs in the game. Later, the camera shifts to Theo's funeral, and suddenly everything slows down. Black suits, whispered conversations, sidelong glances. It feels ripped out of The Godfather. For longtime fans of mob dramas, this is the Tulsa King equivalent of a baptism scene. Every nod, every handshake, every absence, it all matters. Goody slides in close and drops the first bombshell. Armin is spiraling. He's showing up to AA meetings, complaining about Dwight's liquor and weed businesses, and even mentioning the casino angle. It might sound harmless, but AA meetings aren't sealed vaults. Information leaks. And if word reaches New York, Dwight's empire could be snatched before it even begins. Now, the big question: who's pulling Armin's strings? Is he guilty and venting? Or is someone planting seeds to push him toward betrayal? Dwight doesn't panic. He never does. He simply mutters that trademark line, "If he slips, I'll handle it." Cold. Controlled. Dangerous. But the tension doesn't ease. Jeremiah and his men walk into Theo's funeral like it's a parade. No shame, no fear. Pure disrespect. It's the kind of power play you only make when you're sure you own the cops, the streets, and maybe even the undertakers. Jeremiah corners Dwight and offers him a payout, 3 times what Theo ever earned. Walk away from the bourbon game, he says, and live rich anywhere in the world. But Dwight? He doesn't want a buyout. He wants a throne. And here's the flaw: legacy matters more to him than survival. He looks Jeremiah dead in the eye and says, "I'm not for sale." That's not a business choice, that's a declaration. He's willing to risk everything for the kingdom he's building. The first explosion of the episode comes not from guns but from grief. Cleo, Theo's daughter, can't hold back. She confronts Cole, screaming accusations about her father's death. Cole, ever the snake, pushes back physically. Bad move. Mitch steps in and delivers a knockout punch that sends Cole sprawling. Fans online went crazy. Memes of Mitch MVP flooded social feeds within hours. And Cleo? She's quickly becoming a fan favorite. Not just a grieving daughter, but a firebrand who's ready to step into the dirt with the mobsters themselves. Viewers are already calling her the real gangster of the season. By the end of Session 1, it's clear, Dwight isn't just in a turf war. He's building an empire with enemies on every side, Jeremiah outside, Armin wobbling inside, and Cole slithering in the shadows. The foundation is shaky, and yet Dwight looks steadier than ever. The Bourbon Bombshell drops here. Joanne digs into Jeremiah's operation and uncovers the truth: the distillery is a money pit. No profits. No reliable distributors. Jeremiah has been reduced to hustling bootleg sales to keep afloat. It explains the fire, the intimidation. He's not flexing strength, he's covering weakness. But Theo's bourbon? That's a different story. Jeremiah sabotaged it, destroyed its value in the market. Joanne begs Dwight to take the payout, to leave the game before Jeremiah crushes him too. But Dwight won't move. He's too old to rebuild elsewhere, he says, and too loyal to Theo's legacy to abandon the bourbon now. Cleo then steps forward with the kind of reveal that flips an entire season. An insurance adjuster, clearly on Jeremiah's payroll, rules the fire an accident, no payout. Corruption is everywhere. But Cleo doesn't fold. She reveals Theo's hidden stash, 50-year-old bourbon barrels, tucked away in a storage unit. Value? Over $150 million. This isn't liquor anymore. It's treasure. It's Walter White's blue meth for Tulsa King, a product so rare, so valuable, it can turn men into monsters. Jeremiah doesn't know where it is. But Cleo does. And she hands Dwight the secret. Fans online exploded over this twist. Dwight just went from broke mobster to billionaire in one scene, one post read. And it's true, this single discovery shifts the entire power structure. Dwight suddenly has the leverage Jeremiah can't touch. But leverage like this is dangerous. The moment word spreads, every friend becomes a suspect, every ally a potential traitor. Meanwhile, Dwight leans on Tyson to bring his father Mark into the business. Problem is, Mark despises Dwight. He blames him for Tyson's near-death brush with the mob. Angie, Tyson's mother and Mark's estranged wife, intervenes, telling Mark to take the job not to help Dwight, but to protect Tyson. It's family drama woven into mob politics, mirroring Dwight's own broken ties with his daughter in New York. The subplot adds weight because it shows how Dwight drags not just strangers but entire families into his world. Tyson isn't just a driver anymore. He's a son torn between two fathers, one by blood, one by crime. By the end of Session 2, fans realize Dwight's empire isn't built on bourbon or casinos, it's built on fragile relationships. Every ally is tied to him by resentment, loyalty, or desperation. And those ties? They can snap at any moment. Now we enter the web of betrayals. Dwight, Mitch, and Bigfoot meet with distributor Walden Eustace. On the surface, Walden is all charm, a friendly face with handshakes and smiles. But it's a mask. Walden is already tied to Jeremiah, his strings pulled tight. Still, Dwight plays his confidence game. He makes his pitch, pushes his vision, and walks away with a maybe deal. But fans know what Dwight knows, maybe, in this world means war is coming. Back in Dwight's camp, cracks widen. Cole sidles up to Cleo, trying to flip her allegiance. She rejects him instantly, standing tall in her grief and rage. But Cole doesn't stop. He tips Jeremiah off about Walden, tries to undermine Mitch, and even slithers toward Dwight's barista daughter, Spencer. The fandom erupted with disgust. Memes roasted Cole for targeting Spencer, with one fan writing, "Spencer deserves better than Cole's crop tops." But beneath the laughter was fear. Cole doesn't need to seduce her. He just needs proximity. Close enough to hurt Dwight at his core. Meanwhile, Bill, supposedly an ally, blows up. He rages that Dwight didn't cut him into the liquor plan, demanding half the profits for the use of his vans. Dwight throws him crumbs, but it's not enough. Bill sulks, but in private, he whispers Dwight's plan straight to Vince in New York. Here lies the real threat, not Jeremiah's firebombs, but Dwight's own partners sharpening knives behind his back. And then there's Bodie. He doesn't want revenge with bullets. He wants cyber warfare. Hack the killer's phone, drain his accounts, erase his life one bite at a time. It's a chilling subplot that modernizes the mob game. Violence is shifting from guns to keyboards. Session 3 cements the theme: Dwight's enemies aren't just outside his circle, they're inside it. Jeremiah's fire is dangerous. But betrayal? That's lethal. Jeremiah pushes harder. He's not content with fire and intimidation, he wants to rip Dwight apart piece by piece. And at the Bread $2 saloon, the two men finally face off. Jeremiah spits venom, he'll burn everyone Dwight loves. Dwight doesn't raise his voice. He simply promises the opposite: Jeremiah will regret this war. It's the kind of mob face-off that fans live for. No bullets. No fists. Just promises, heavy as lead. Meanwhile, Cole stumbles again. Cleo scars him up when he tries to take Mitch down. And yet, the snake keeps slithering. He survives humiliation after humiliation, proof that cockroaches always crawl back. Fans start asking, why does Jeremiah keep him around? Theories fly online. Some say Cole's recklessness is useful, he stirs chaos that Jeremiah can weaponize. Others think Cole is destined for a shocking betrayal, turning on Jeremiah when the time is right. Elsewhere, Angie and Mark's tension with Tyson grows. Tyson tries to bridge the gap, but instead finds himself trapped between family loyalty and mob ambition. His storyline becomes a mirror of Dwight's, sons paying for the sins of fathers. And Bodie? His cyber plot deepens. He starts small, locking accounts, sending threatening messages. But the preview teases bigger plays. Could Bodie cripple Jeremiah's entire empire without firing a shot? Fans can't stop speculating. By the close of Session 4, every piece is on the board. Jeremiah with fire. Cole with chaos. Bill with betrayal. Bodie with cyber war. And Dwight? Sitting on bourbon worth $150 million, daring anyone to come for him. This session is where theories ignite. Dwight has the bourbon stash. But bourbon this valuable isn't a blessing, it's a curse. Every ally who knows becomes a suspect. Every rival who learns becomes a predator. Bill is the most obvious traitor. He's already whispering to Vince. Fans are convinced Vince is waiting for Dwight to rebuild everything, only to swoop in and claim the empire. But Bill isn't the only one. Walden smiles too much. Goody is loyal, but what happens when New York applies pressure? And Musso, noticeably absent from this episode, casts the biggest shadow of all. The quiet ones always strike hardest. The theory gaining traction is simple: Dwight won't fall to Jeremiah's brute force. He'll fall to betrayal within his own circle. And if he survives, it will only be because he burns bridges, even with family. This is what makes Tulsa King hit so hard. The empire isn't just about liquor or money, it's about loyalty, betrayal, and legacy. Dwight isn't chasing wealth. He's chasing immortality through empire. And that kind of chase leaves bodies in its wake. Fans are split on the MVP of the episode. Some say Cleo, for standing strong. Others say Mitch, for that satisfying punch. And some still ride with Dwight, the immovable rock in the storm. But the previews for episode 3 tease blood. Not metaphorical blood, real, brutal violence. The war is coming to a boil, and someone close to Dwight is going to draw first blood.